Hi, I'm Robin Houks, and I'm the M&A Labor Program Director.
And I'm Amy Hoschild, and I'm a labor rep from Eastern Montana.
And we are providing you this short presentation for your Weingarten Rights at the facility that you work in Bozeman, at Bozeman Health. So I'm going to share my screen, and Amy and I will take just a few minutes to go through these slides so that you get familiar with what your Weingarten Rights are. So at the beginning is, are you familiar with your Weingarten Rights? Your Weingarten Rights guarantee an employee or you the right to union representation, which can be an M&A labor rep, any one of your local leaders, or a coworker. However, we do encourage you to grab an M&A rep or local leader first to be present during an investigatory interview that those employees believe that may result in discipline.
When your employer notifies you of a meeting, the most important thing is that you need to discern what is the meeting about? What is this meeting about? And so sometimes managers will not be comfortable for one reason or the other saying what the meeting is about. And so this slide, and actually this card, which is included in your new employee handbook packets, is included. And so we're going to do a little role play just to kind of show you what we're talking about here. And so oftentimes supervisors will say something like this: Robin, hey, I'm glad I caught you before you left. Say, we need to chat with you tomorrow morning after you get off shift.
Susan, what is the purpose of this meeting?
We just need to talk to you.
Well, can you tell me what it's relating to?
We need to sit down and chat. We haven't met for a while. Your evaluation's been a long time ago. And so, we need to sit down and visit with you.
Am I being investigated for something?
We are investigating a complaint.
Oh, so, so is it an investigation? Am I in trouble? Am I getting disciplined for something?
We don't know that yet. We are just simply doing an investigation.
Well, I would like to request an M&A rep or one of my local leaders to be present with me at this meeting.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll send you a meeting invitation and you can invite your rep. And so thank you folks for letting us do that. I mean, my joke that I always say to people is, at the end of the day, if you still can't discern what the meeting is about, come right out and say, am I going to get in trouble, or do you need my muffin recipe that I brought to the potluck a couple of weeks ago? And that sounds rather tongue-in-cheek, but it really gets down to it about, is this something that could possibly lead to discipline? Because that is the crux. That's the part in the law that says that you get a union rep, and it's only employees that are represented by unions that have this legal right. And so it's precious.
Additionally, just remember that if you're notified that it is investigatory or disciplinary, you want to contact your local officers to obtain your rep or get a hold of Amy as soon as possible, as they have to provide you a reasonable amount of time to get this arranged. But remember that your nurse locals and Amy's all have schedules, so 5 minutes notice might not guarantee that you'll have somebody there for that particular meeting. But we will do our best to get somebody there with you.
And I do want to point out one other thing. Oftentimes employees think, well, if I bring the union with me, then I'll get in more trouble. And that is the biggest misnomer ever, because what you want is you want your legal representative involved with you from the very beginning. I oftentimes get calls and people are on the verge of being suspended or terminated, and we haven't been involved earlier. They haven't notified us. We haven't grieved any of the prior disciplines. And once you get further down the line, you can't relitigate, if you will, the terms and conditions of the prior disciplines. And so none of that stuff matters. So it is super important that if you have an investigatory meeting or a meeting which you will be asked questions which require you to defend your conduct, that you arrange for a union rep ASAP. I will tell you that many of us work sort of alternative schedules. I wouldn't worry if you were texting in the middle of the night, because when we're either sleeping or working or whatever, we've got our phones turned off when we're not available. And so Don't wait for a convenient business hour. Get that message out right away.
And just remember, the most important thing to remember about these rights are, what is so invaluable about them is it gives you the ability to have somebody sitting with you. You have a second set of eyes and a second set of ears, and you have the right to ask clarifying questions. And so does the rep that's sitting with you.
Right. It's an invaluable right that a person that's represented by a union has. So please don't let it go by, because it's super important.
So this is another copy of the card that's provided in your new employee packet. This will give you, gives you the saying that you can say if you're not sure how to ask, just pull this card out and you can read this statement. If this discussion could in any way lead to my being disciplined or terminated or affect my personal working conditions, I respectfully request that my union representative, officer, or steward be present at this meeting. Until my representative arrives, I choose not to participate in this discussion.
Perfect. And this last slide deals with, well, who should I contact? And so we've listed out 4 of your local unit representatives. The first 2, Matt Larson and Lisa Riggins, are co-presidents, and their phones and email addresses are listed there. Maureen McGrath is your secretary. Please, on Lisa and Mo McGrath's, note the underscore in their emails. And Joanne Schmidt is one of your professional conference committee representatives. She's bargained the last few contracts with us. She's also very seasoned. And there is her email and phone number. And then my information is at the bottom. That is my work phone. And as I said, when I'm not available to look at my phone, I turn the ringer off. And so don't worry about bothering me if it's the middle of the night.
So please, again, don't hesitate to reach out to Amy or myself. You can contact the M&A office in Helena, or you have Amy's contact information. And thank you for watching our short presentation on your Weingarten rights.
Thanks, folks.